Welcome in, everybody, to another post-game edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin, and of course, DK in the background running the show. We are here, and like I mentioned, another post-game edition of a nail-biter in which the Baltimore Ravens lose 16-13. And of course, Glenn, we heard the narrative of being up in the fourth quarter and then losing in the fourth quarter. And it continues to be a narrative until it's not, whether the situations are related, to those of the ailments they had at the beginning of the season or not are to be debated. But we still lost the lead and lost, of course, to a fierce rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah.
Just really quickly before we dig deep into it, correct me if I'm wrong at this point, we can still win the division if Cincinnati loses tomorrow. And now one thing I don't know, are they at home or are they in Buffalo?
They're at home.
They're at home. So now Buffalo wants to keep that number one seed. Of course, Kansas City nipping at their heels. I just wanted to mention that off the top. Not all hope is lost for a divisional championship.
I think it might deserve a show in itself, but now this is, people are going to go, it's just because they lost. But we talked about it before the game and talked about this being a show topic. I think the wild card might be the easier path anyway.
Instead of playing, or because then,
if you win the division, you're going to host a game against likely the Chargers, I think right now, or if you're the wild card, you're going to Jacksonville.
Right.
I'm not so sure it's not better off going to Jacksonville and playing in that beautiful weather or playing at home against a Chargers team that's riddled with stars on either side of the ball. Yeah. But anyway, look, that's for another night.
Right. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, on Tuesday night as we dig into it, of course, the results of Monday night. But I just kind of wanted to mention off the top because, it's good to know that not all hope is lost here. But, kind of keep things in perspective. But let's talk about this game, Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm happy to start where you want to start. We can get into some stats, some thoughts off the top. What you got for me?
Well, I guess we'll start with the offense, but man, I got a lot to say about both sides of the ball. So on offense, Tyler Huntley goes 14 of 21, 130 yards, touchdown, has the game-ending pick, and then was sacked once for a loss of 10 yards. Of course, I'm sure we all remember TJ Watt absolutely comes screaming around that corner of Morgan Moses and taking down Tyler. And then also on the ground, J.K. Dobbins, 17 carries, 93 yards, has a long of 22. But Gus Edwards, Jimbo, 3 carries, 2 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, good to see Mark Andrews snap out of the funk he was in. 9 catches, 100 yards on 9 targets, caught every single target. But behind him, likely good game, has the touchdown, 3 catches, 12 yards.
Crucial drop, though.
Big time drop, no doubt about that. But outside of that, 2 catches by your receiving core for 18 yards.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So before we move on to the defense, which I have a ton to say about that, offensively, Jimbo, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised for some of the things that happen. But talk to me about this offensive line. Morgan Moses leaves the game. Makari finishes it. They call it a biceps injury currently. Not sure the status there. But disappointing showing, to say the least, of both tackles. Ronnie Stanley getting absolutely bullied by Cam Hayward. I mean, TJ Watt was a wrecking ball on almost every single play, whether it's run or pass. Talk to me about this offensive line that had been playing in one of the top units in the league.
Yeah, you could tell that they struggle again. Well, speed is one thing, but power certainly is something that those two bookends struggle with. And that's something that we've seen Morgan especially struggle with all year, just straight up power bull rushes and things like that. But Ronnie, I don't think that's something we're as accustomed to seeing him get pushed around as much, being the former All-Pro and the high caliber player that he is, but really bummed out by the offensive line, overall by the lack of push. What were our total rushing yards for this game?
Total rushing yards, 28 carries, 120 yards on the ground.
All right. So, I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, but when Pittsburgh outrushes you by a wide margin, that's a problem.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think when you just watch the game and, the box score is supplemental to what you see with your eyes, there's a lot of meat on the bones that was left out there for the run game. I mean, just a lot a lot of plays that were a 1 or a no yard gain, where Pittsburgh in turn is turning those into 4 to 7 yard gains, right? And that's what we're accustomed to seeing. On that note, it's just Quan says no Gus or JK in the red zone. Can't blame the defense. Don't care. Offense got to score. Defense keeps it low scoring every week. Offense must do its job. So we talked about this last week, and this is an ongoing thing where there were double-digit numbers where neither of those players got carries in the red zone. Now, my only question to you, Glenn, is I'm trying to remember how many trips did the red zone that we actually have? I mean, we had the short field goal.
Mm-hmm. 15 plays, 61 yards on the first drive. We get in field goal range, kick that.
Right.
So let me see here. On that drive, just to kind of go into his point here. 1st and 10 at the 17. Huntley carries it himself.
Right.
Gain of 4 yards.
I hate that one. I hate that those, right? It's always, I don't know. They like to keep him with Huntley in the red zone there. I
can't recall the play, honestly, if it was designed run or if that's just how it ended up, being honest. But 2nd and 6, next play from the Pittsburgh 16. Andy Isabella, his only carry, gains a yard. So 3rd and 5, Pittsburgh 12, Huntley incomplete pass. Next, it's a field goal. Next play or next drive ends in the touchdown. Which of course had the controversial call on Hayward on the PI, or on the personal foul, I should say. Let's see. Next drive does not get into the red zone, so not a lot of trips.
Yeah,
not a lot of trips in the red zone, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, so I get his point. But in this game, I mean, we had 2 trips to the red zone. One ended up in a touchdown.
Well, I think to his point, Jimbo, 3 carries for your guy.
Yeah. Overall, red zone
or
not. Right, red zone or not, you need to give the guy more carries. The other thing on that call, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. It is what it is. But I thought he had his hand on Stanley's throat. His right hand.
Calls. If you're a Ravens fan, you're not mad at it. If you're a Steelers fan, if I was,
I just don't understand why you're at the. I just don't understand why you're at the top of the pile and you need to push a guy.
Yeah,
you're already on top of the pile. You know what I mean? Anyway, Dominic Cole says Ravens play undisciplined football. Did he mean to say shake my damn head? SMDH.
I believe so. Yeah.
Now, can I just say something really quickly, Glenn? We're looking at this game and we're all reacting to this game. I believe we should have won this game and we had enough talent on the field to win it. But maybe I'm just an optimist till the day that I'm 6 feet under the dirt. But look, we're 3-2 with Tyler Huntley, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that Lamar is going to be back at the very least for the playoffs.
Hey, I'm not done being upset, Jimbo. You keep doing this. I'm
premature.
Airing my grievances. Yeah,
no, that's
my
fair,
grievances haven't been aired yet.
All right, that's fair.
I get it. There'll be time for optimism at show's end or Tuesday, but right now it's the time for airing of grievances.
Fair enough.
All right. Jared says, I knew we'd lose after the drive where we went negative 2 yards after that great return.
Yeah, 100%.
Inexcusable situational play calling. Yeah, I mean,
what a waste
return by Justice Hill. I mean, what a player this guy. Look, I was super critical of Justice Hill, partially because I had such high hopes for him when he was drafted. Mm-hmm. But man, what a player that guy's turned into.
We're finally seeing what the scouting report said he was going to be.
Absolutely. This is the explosion, the quick twitch, the ability to make guys miss in open field. So yeah, to his point though, great 56-yard return by Justice Hill. Get the ball to Pittsburgh 40. J.K. Dobbins goes negative 2 yards on first down. Huntley incomplete to Josh Oliver on second down. And Huntley incomplete to Isaiah Likely on third down. They punt. I mean, you start the ball on the other team's 40 with Justin Tucker as your kicker, and you come away with nothing. You're 100% right, Jared. Inexcusable.
Yeah, 100. I mean, we've all watched enough Ravens games as Ravens fans to know what's going to happen a lot of times, right? And I immediately said the same exact thing, Jared. So I'm on the same page with you. You knew right there that when Isaiah dropped that ball and we weren't able to get 3, that was it. Because they had been, to Pittsburgh's credit, and trust me, Glenn, I hate giving Pittsburgh credit for anything, but between the 20s, they were moving the ball well. We were doing well in the red. So you knew it was only a matter of time before they would get a crack and be successful in the red zone. And that's what ended up happening on the next drive.
Yeah, Sean says, y'all, I'm going to say this. I love this game, but they literally showed the thing on the screen before Pittsburgh's drive that we hadn't given up a touchdown, and then they scored. Like, how shady is that? This offense is garbage. Yeah, they did show the graphic, how special they had been in the red zone really since the Roquan addition. Yeah, it's another jinxing moment here.
Who
But
got caught today? Roquan got caught today.
yeah, man. I
He
got
was
a
not
lot to say about the
expecting the ball to
defense.
go that
Look,
way.
the linebackers, both of them didn't play good. Roquan did
Dude,
not play well.
Patrick Queen in space looks like, you know what he looks like to me, Glenn? Do you remember in the Stampede in Lion King?
The wildebeests, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like you know what I mean? He's just standing there like, and he's in a valley and there's just nothing but wildebeest coming at him. And he's all by himself. It was early on in the game.
They've
Who
been
got
playing
that
so
ball?
well, Jimbo. They were
I
playing.
know.
What happened this game? I mean, look, we can get back to the offense. The defense played. Look, let's call it the first 3 quarters. They played phenomenal, but again, another fourth quarter collapse. They outscored in the fourth quarter 10-0, and give up drives of 11 plays, 80-yard touchdown, 13 plays, 80-yard field goal, 12 plays, 43-yard field goal. In the second half, they gave up a 12-play drive, a 13-play drive, an 11-play drive. The defense has got to find a way to get off the field in those big moments. And I get it. The offense didn't do them any favors. So I 100% understand
That's what I was going to
that.
ask. How much grace do they get for having
they get
the
a lot.
pressure of the game? You know what I mean?
You give up 16 points, you should win the game in the NFL, 100%. But at the same time, where the hell is this pass rush gone? It seems like if it's not Kyle Hamilton or one of these linebackers, nobody's getting to him.
Yeah, you got to dial it up. No one's winning their matchups.
Yeah, at the end of the game, it's like, gosh, somebody get to him. But yeah,
where's
Roquan, the front seven, the run defense that we've been raving about? I mean, they were absolutely getting gashed by these zone runs. Najee Harris, got to give him credit, Jimbo. The guy was running physical. He was running hard. 22 carries, 111 yards. And Jalen Ward, I mean, his backup was running hard too. He goes 12 carries, 76 yards. They go for 198 on the ground against the number 2 rush defense in the league. I thought that, man, very disappointed in the play of both Roquan and Patrick Queen. But also, man, did they miss Calais Campbell in this game?
Yeah, big time. I mean, there was I know that we're going to get back to the offense. I'm sure we'll go back and forth, but really quickly, I'm going to get to your comments, but I just want to get Jared's comment up here. I know Calais was out, but come on, we might be in trouble when he retires because we let Harris run all over us. I'll hope and pray that we address that when Calais retires. Yeah. But as far as this year goes,
so he gets back. He did return, I believe, in a limited role to practice this week. Is that not
right?
Right?
And he was out there in pregame too.
So hopefully he'll be back and ready to go when it matters most.
At the end of the day, though, got to be better than that in the run game. And my key to the game, if you remember, Glenn, was dominating on first and second down to put them in third and unfavorable. And we absolutely did not do that.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what they averaged per rush on first down, because I would bet that it's 5+.
It's bad.
You know what I mean? It was,
especially in the second half,
right? Making life as easy as you possibly can for your quarterback. That obviously is going to bode in your favor after a while. So yeah, that was a huge struggle for that defense.
Shout out to Joseph here.
Yeah, appreciate it, Joseph.
But dude, all night, dude. Let me just give you this recap. Even on games or drives that didn't end in points. First drive of the game, 15 plays. I mean, yeah, then they force a punt, but then the next drive, 11 plays.
Right.
You know, the following drive, 12 plays, then 13 plays, then 5, then 11. I mean, monster plays. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, the offense didn't do him any favors, but at the same time, you know, you got to get a team off the field. You can't just keep giving up these long double-digit play drives. You're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 double-digit play drives in a single game? That's 2 in each half. That's substantial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so third down was a struggle, obviously, for this team in this game today. And yeah, I mean, maybe the linebackers had a lot to do with it, the guys up front. But ultimately, I think what you said, Glenn, is crucial because the lack of pass rush allowed Kenny Pickett back there to do whatever he wanted. He
had 5-6 seconds on the play clock to throw the ball.
I mean, just to see how much time, just with a little bit of mobility. It wasn't like he was a magician back there.
No, I can't blame the secondary. Like, I can't.
Right.
I think
how long can you hold up? You know,
right. You're guarding a guy for 6 seconds. I mean, come on. And it's not like these guys are running wide open. These were still the throws that you got to give Kenny Pickett some credit. He was putting the ball in some tough windows and guys were making some good catches, but 10 of 16 on third down, Jimbo, were the Steelers.
Yeah. Jeez whiz.
That's a lot of conversions against a team that was second or third in the league in stopping opposing offenses. Shumal says, only we find a way to make Kenny mid look like Pat. Shake my MF head. Our defense folded just like earlier in the season. Our offense missing Lamar heavy. No joke. They are missing Lamar like absolutely crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, I thought this defense since the Roquan trade, I thought, you know what?
Turned a corner.
Yeah, man. But I mean,
but
look, it's hard to get on them because it's like at the end of the day, they give 16 points. But man, all those long drives and then you give up the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing is if the defense does nothing, well, not nothing else, but the missing component of what we've seen as of late is the lack of ability to stop the rushing attack.
Yeah.
That was really the difference. Like
No
the
doubt.
big plays and, whether or not we made the big plays and big moments is one thing. Like there were so many plays. We could have had an interception on the tip. We could have sacked Kenny on that touchdown pass, like so many things. But ultimately what put them in position for the entire game was the fact, just like you said, I mean, we couldn't stop the run. They were just popping them off left and right. They looked like us.
Yeah.
Against them last time. Ravens O's Nation says, I'm calling off tomorrow. I work with all Pitt fans.
Brutal.
Do it. Don't go in, dude.
And everything else is just lining right up for Pitt. Like if the Miami Dolphins would have won today, they would have been eliminated before this game even started. But just everything's lining up. It's frustrating. Joseph says, I'm hammered, but damn, this is a bad Ravens team. It's bad. I tell you, it looks bad right now, but I still know that when Lamar Jackson is back on the field, he's going to cover up so much of this and they're going to look so much better. I mean, just think of these third and shorts and even third and medium and long. I mean, knowing Lamar is on the field and at any moment he can either beat you through the air with his legs is just a much more comforting feeling than I mean, look, Tyler Huntley, tell me what you thought. I mean, you're a Tyler Huntley guy, Jimbo. I mean, was it more? I mean, how much of this is on him or how much of it just the offense in general?
Yeah, I'll tell you who I'm blaming it on.
Who's that?
I think wide receivers need some pride, dude. Play with some pride. Play like you belong in the NFL and you're here, you're here for a reason. I don't want to see any Instagram from James Prochet this week and dancing in the locker room and hanging out and I don't want any of it because you guys didn't pay your rent this week. You know what I mean? Rent was due and you guys didn't pay. No one in that unit did anything of magnitude. Right. And so for me, even with Lamar back, you have to do enough, dude. We're not even asking you to be average, just be serviceable.
Yeah.
But dude, you got to do something, right? Because without any threat from a wide receiver, we turn into Ben Simmons. That's what we turn into. You know what I mean? But if we can just simply do something with our wide receivers, then we turn into Giannis. That's the difference, right? So I just feel like that to me, they got to play with some pride. It's an embarrassment. How many weeks can you sit there and watch the television and just get doo-dooed on and be okay with it? At what point do you say, all right, man, my pride, my life, my career is on the line. I got to do something about this. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, and it makes you wonder. It's always the whole, is it the lack of opportunity? Is it the lack, it's like,
egg.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the tough part. And certainly when the tape comes out in a couple days, that'll help, shed some light on the situation. Evan says defense played way too many snaps tonight. Offense just isn't good enough. No complimentary football being played in Baltimore. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, but again, at the same time, the defense gave up a ton of third down conversions, a ton of long play, double-digit play drives. And so a lot of them being maybe gassed at the end was, some of that was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Again, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well,
I'll say, even though the offense didn't do its job, no doubt. In the second half, you scored 3 points. That's not doing your job, but neither did the defense at times.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with you. Now, the one thing I want to say, though, about Tyler is, I mean, look, that's what you get when Tyler's trying to press, right? Like the interception at the end and things like that. I'm not saying that obviously he's played better in other high pressure moments. I think it was the very first game that he came in when he led the drive and things like that at the end of the game. So we've seen otherwise, but I don't think it's fair to say, hey, like, take us to the promised land, undrafted career backup.
Yeah, right. You're asking a guy to do something that he might just not physically and be able to do.
Sure, and certainly not with the unit around him. Right? In a situation where we have no timeouts, you're asking him to put it in the air.
And your tackles are getting absolutely obliterated.
With wide receivers that don't want the football, period. They don't want it. Like, maybe Deshaun Jackson wants it, but he don't want to get tackled. Like, you better be a home run or nothing.
Well, I mean, it didn't look like he wanted it in that interception last week where he just let the DB take it from him.
Right. I mean, that pass this week to this game, I mean, I can't blame him. He's 36, but he caught that thing in his head, missile to the ground. He was done. Not taking this hit. But, I mean, it is what it is. Jared Ramirez says, we also have no killer instinct. Up 10-3 at half, and you get the ball first, go and score. Could have put the game away with that. I mean, 100%, we were in a great opportunity. Now, didn't we go up and hit? I mean, we hit 3, right? We were up 13-3 at that point. But like you, I mean,
8 plays, 42 yards.
Yeah, I'm assuming you mean touchdown. But Glenn, I do think that, to your point, a lot of the red zone stuff, a lot of the red zone stuff is, I think, the right way to say it, will be remedied with Lamar Jackson. I do think it will. So if we can continue to move the ball well enough to get into the red zone, I think Lamar is just a different animal to deal with in the red zone.
I hope so, but they had struggles when he was here. What the flock says,
absolutely.
The Greg Roman special, 2-score lead in the fourth and you lose. Let's run with 10 in the box and defense plays zone. Play in 2 weeks, we'll lose by 30. Couldn't stop the run and offense needed a first down. Really? Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there, but
to unpack.
The losing a 2-score lead in the fourth isn't just a Greg Roman special. That's becoming a Ravens special this year. I mean, that's 5 times now that we've blown a multi-score fourth quarter lead. That's that's on the whole team. That's on the defense. That's on the offense. That's on everybody. Man, I'm not so sure we're going to lose by 30 in 2 weeks. I'm still not ready to give up on our chances. If you tell me that if Lamar's not there, okay.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But I'm still not ready to count him out. Not just yet.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about 30. Got to give him some credit because the Ravens
is pretty brutal. I mean, they still haven't gotten destroyed.
Right. Yeah, we'll be up by 12 and lose by 3 in the fourth. Is probably more characteristic of what the Ravens would do. But yeah, I mean, just really quick before we get to Marco's point, ultimately, everyone who says the Ravens need more receivers was 100% right. I mean, not that I'm against that, but 100% right. I mean, it was so apparent late in that game. You knew there was no chance. If Pat Mahomes is back there, and not just because it's Pat Mahomes, but if the Chiefs are back there with Andy Reid, or you can name whatever team, even the Dolphins, right? You're sitting back and you're like, all right, we got a shot. Mm-hmm. I was not very confident that we had any sort of shot to push the ball on the field with no timeouts. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? We just weren't going to be able to do it. So yeah, it's a tough one, man. A real tough one.
And the sad thing is I thought the Ravens had some, like they had some wins on the field in the sense that, like, man, look at their receiving core. Like, yeah, I mean, Pat Freiermuth's their leading receiver, 3 catches, 36 yards. I mean, George Pickens, who kind of gave him some fits and made some big plays, 2 catches, 29 yards in this game.
Yeah.
There was some wins. I mean, Marco G says the bank was quiet. Fans getting sick of blown leads. Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's so emotionally draining where it'd almost be more fun to just get blown out. Like, you're having fun. Like, then you can just socialize, have a good time, and like whatever.
Well, at least it's not as heartbreaking. But
right.
They just what did the offense do to give the fans something to get excited about? What did the defense do for that matter? I mean, there wasn't a lot of sacks on the quarterback. Wasn't a lot of turnovers being forced out there. I mean, they were getting absolutely gashed in the second half, and the offense was doing absolutely nothing. So I get why it was low energy in the bank. There was giving some energy to the fans. You gotta provide something on the field. Laura says, I think we should let Tucker try for that long field goal instead of punting. Yeah, I think it would have been like a 59-yard field goal.
I say the same thing because it wasn't cold out. There wasn't a lot of wind. It's really calm right now. Yeah, I think he drills it. Or I think you have two options there, right? Like it was 4th and 2.
They still needed a touchdown, not a field goal. So I agree. I think you kick it because they get good field position. It's not like they need a field goal. They still need to get it in that end zone. So it really position at that point.
Uh-oh.
Hang on.
Did all your power go out?
No, just my light, which is odd because it's plugged into the wall.
Oh geez. DK, if you wanna I don't know how to do this. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so I agree. And I mean, I think if Laura, if you're referencing the 4th and 2, which is what I believe you are, Glenn's having some serious light issues right now. If anybody has epilepsy, or if anyone is epileptic, like honestly, I'm not saying this as a joke. Okay, he's good. I'm glad. I think we could have gone for it there. Now, if we went for it there, dude, you see your boy is telling you to pay your light bill, dude.
Nah, this light, dude, the switch is
it's sensitive, huh? But Glenn, so what I was mentioning though is that we also had another option because I believe what she's referencing is the 4th and 2. Right?
Let's see.
It was a 4th and 2 where we punted.
I'll look up the play-by-play. I was just thinking that long bomb that he would have had to kick that we ended up punting.
Well, maybe that wasn't the 4th and 2. What was the 4th and 2? Where were we at? Anyway, it's either that she's talking about or she's talking about the one where we had
4th and 2. Yeah, 4th and 2 at the Baltimore 44. That was the bomb I was talking about. Yeah.
Right, where he would have had to hit a 60-yarder or whatever it would have ended up, equating to be. But you also had an opportunity to go for it there as well.
Yeah, 4th and 2.
I just felt like that changes the whole game. Yeah. So, I just was complaining about that 2 weeks ago. If you remember, I said, John, just take the points. But, I don't know. I would have done either option instead of punt, in my opinion there.
Yeah, Ian says, same inept offense since the bye. Defense, run D, woes again. The run defense was struggling today. I mean, they were getting absolutely gashed, out physicaled at the line. My only thing there is like, at least I know Calais is coming back. I know the difference maker that he is. And so while it was super disappointing to watch him go up the field and kind of just bully ball us in the second half, I think I'm pretty confident that will get fixed as soon as, they get a little bit healthier. But, man, I thought they could do it because I thought, look, Brent Urban was the biggest recipient of extra playing time with Calais being out. And I thought he made a bunch of splash plays. That guy was all over the backfield. So to me, it was mainly just a poor performance from those linebackers for sure. And then the edge players, the outside linebackers just didn't show up either.
Yeah, 100%. Joseph Ecker said, poor defense. Just check the stats. They're doing well. I love you guys, but the Bengals game is going to be real bad.
Well, we'll see what happens in tomorrow night's game. If the Bengals win tomorrow night, then what are the Ravens playing? They're playing for absolutely nothing. They'll likely be playing the Bengals, I think, at that point in the next week anyway. So they're not going to show them anything. It's going to be two teams playing a bunch of backups.
Say that one more time. If
they play next week and the Bengals, look, there's no chance for the Ravens to go below 6.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It won't go to 7. Okay. So they're going to be at 6, and they're going to play the Bengals likely in the first round. So they're going to play them in week 18, and they're going to play them in week 1 of the playoffs. And both teams. Yeah. It's going to be a bunch of backups playing each other.
Right. 100%. I got you. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the Bills. I was like, what?
But if the Bills win tonight, then you start having, or tomorrow night, you start having, some different conversations. It's Chris Kwan says, so now teams will run 60 linemen in the playoffs. So they're certainly going to absolutely load the box.
And that's fine. No, I do think that this equation is much different with Lamar Jackson there.
I hope so, but you still got to win one-on-ones on the outside. Lamar isn't going to make all of a sudden make, Demarcus Robinson and Deshaun Jackson into a different player.
Yeah,
he might help, give him a little more opportunity to get one-on-ones, but I'm pretty sure they're getting a lot of those right now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you 1,000%. But it'll be interesting to have. Look, dude, you just got to take some pride in what you do.
Yeah.
Like, I understand we don't have the most talented unit, but Glenn, let's not act like the NFL is not made for the offense to be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And at the bottom line, look, we still both believe in this run game. And if you have a dominant run game, you should at the very least have an efficient play action pass game. That's the bare minimum you should have. Sean says, for me, story of the game was wasting Hill's return and going 3-and-out in the next drive. Hard to blame the defense, but hey, Bengals destroy us. Man, I don't like that. I don't like that last one. But it could happen. There's no doubt it could happen. But yeah, I mean, they wasted that. All they needed to do was, I mean, they really just don't go backwards. But you get 2 to 3 yards, and it's a guarantee.
Dude,
with
freaking
Justin
likely,
Tucker.
dude. Catch the rock, bro. Make the easy catch, dude. You run the nice route in the end zone. You get the touchdown.
Well, on first down, you don't go backwards with J.K. Dobbins. You know?
Right.
I mean, J.K., got to give J.K. credit. How many times did he turn a negative play into a 3-yard gain?
With the hand on the ground? Remember that one? That was a work of art. That was his best run of the game. I don't care what anyone says.
Offensive
he was tackled
line,
like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, turned into a
right.
2-yard gain.
Right. Fighting off multiple guys. I think
incredible.
This was one of the worst games by the offensive line, right? Like run blocking, pass blocking, the tackles getting absolutely embarrassed. You lose Morgan Moses for a majority of the game. I really hope that he's back, but this was a very poor performance.
Yeah, I just read a quick quote from Kevin Zeitler, who said he believes that this week's they're going to have the O-line will have a come to Jesus moment after that poor performance. Which,
I mean, they got embarrassed.
Yeah, absolutely. Rafari Cooper says, why would you call 2 timeouts on defense? This coaching staff is killing us. Well, there were huge plays. And we had wrong personnel. That's the one that comes to my mind.
Well, the one they had 12 guys on the field on 3rd and 5. So if they let the play go, it's a guaranteed first down. They called a timeout in hopes to get off the field on 3rd down. But yeah, I mean, inexcusable that there's 12 guys on the field. 100% to your point.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't waste timeouts in a close game when you can't tell me that the mindset wouldn't have been different had they had either a little bit more time on that last drive at the end or more timeouts with equal time. Certainly would have made a huge difference. So yeah, to your point, wasted timeouts because you don't have the right guys on the field.
Yeah, and then you end up with Huntley in a situation where he has none, where we could have had 2.
Or at least one. Say you get half of them.
Something.
Yeah, Raven Ron says we are 1 and done in the playoff. Joke. Offense is straight trash. Can't control clock in the 4th quarter and maintain a lead. Fire G-Row and Harbs is a joke.
Well, I'll tell you this, Glenn. I also saw another quote from Harbaugh who said that, the reason they lost starts with him and the coaches didn't coach well and didn't prepare enough and stuff like that. But when I hear that, I always wonder what those coaches' meetings are like following that, because it starts with him, but that also means he also has the responsibility to right the ship. And so, you ever heard the phrase in work, crap? I'm going to use the word crap, rolls downhill.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to roll downhill because these coordinators and all these other position coaches are absolutely going to hear it. I mean, look, I'm going to continue to pile on. What is happening with our wide receiver coach?
I mean, this guy was heralded as the greatest, as the Yoda of wide receiver coaches.
And the dudes are scared to touch the football, is what it looks like.
So either there's zero talent there to be developed, or there's a disconnect in the development process.
Or I guess some people will think that it's just all the system, right? Like the scheme is not getting them
doesn't
open.
allow.
But these guys remind me of the guys that you work with that, like, at 3:30 somehow spend 90 minutes in the bathroom on their phone.
Yeah. Oh, stomach, you know what I'm saying?
Issues. And like all it is, it's just a paycheck. Like there's no pride.
Yeah.
And like just doing a good day's work, it's just a paycheck. And like, shoot, they get out of here.
I just wonder, like, could this be? Hey, look, they backed into the playoffs in 2012, Jimbo.
Oh,
did they not?
Don't you
They
dare.
Stumbled into the playoffs.
Look, I was all positive earlier.
Yeah.
And now I'm not right now. I'm not feeling it. And now you're trying to be positive. In 2012, who do we have playing wide receiver, though?
Yeah, some different.
I mean, a Hall of Famer in Anquan Boldin, right?
Well, I don't think he's not in there yet.
Anquan Boldin is a.
But he's definitely in the conversation. That's enough. That's all you need to say.
Dude, Anquan Boldin right now is better than anyone we got. Right now, I would take
certainly more
Anquan Boldin at
physical.
45
You
years
certainly
old.
don't have to worry about a lack of physicality.
Would you take Torrey Smith out of retirement right now as a political activist and just put him back in the Ravens uniform and say, he's a political activist now? That's really his full-time job. I'd rather take him, the political activist, now, like the side pudge and everything. Like, dude, he's still better. I don't even care.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with these. It's frustrating. It's no doubt frustrating. But the good thing is, the Ravens are still in the playoffs, Jimbo. Joseph said the defense is elite. I feel bad for them. Yeah, but they gotta stop letting guys go for 15 play drives on them. They can't give up 4 of those.
And even though they have all the pressure on the world on them, if they are elite, like if they are those dudes,
5
right?
of them.
Like
5 of them, Jimbo.
Yeah, 5 double-digit drives.
15, 11, 12, 13, and 11. That's 5.
Yeah. Here we go. There's an idea. Let's just call Ocho Cinco and T.O. Just lace them up, boys. Let's go.
48 years old.
Dude, freaking Chad's going to run out there with a bag of McDonald's and a cigar.
Hey, he's got 1-2 plays in him if that's how you're going to
as long as he doesn't take a hit.
How many plays did Charlie Kohler get today in his first game?
Oh, I don't know, but I saw Jonas Schaefer's tweet. He said we put Kohler out there and we ran the ball for 15 yards on that play. Missing ingredient.
That's it.
I'll tell you what, though, dude, just throw it up to T.O., baby. Yeah. Who's gonna out physical him down there? I'm totally joking. These guys are like, come on.
Little old. Ravens O's Nation said this is gonna sound weird, but part of me will be relieved if the Bengals win tomorrow. Don't want to get my hopes up for NFC North title and get heartbroken. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. Go into that game. Neither team shows either anything, and rest up all their important players, and we'll see you in round 1, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We'll just stay there.
Yeah. That's a good point.
We'll stay in town. But that's going to be interesting, man. They're going to come into that game with a ton of confidence. But let's just hope that the Ravens are at least as healthy as they can be and have their quarterback back under center.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. To be honest, is M low-key happy we lost? Did he mean to say I'm low-key happy we lost? I think so. I hope Bengals win tomorrow and we beat them next week. I think if we won, the team would force Lamar to play week 18. All right.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay. Like if there was a chance with the division, then they might rush Lamar back, even if he's not 100%. Right. I still think they'd be pretty careful with him, but okay. I see what you're saying. There would definitely be more pressure internally probably for Lamar to want to get back with his guys if there's an opportunity to win the North. But
yeah,
man, hey, we don't know what'll happen if they lose. If they lose tomorrow night, it's still an opportunity, right? Or am I?
Yeah. As long as we both lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if they win tomorrow, now it's a moot point.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Perry says we should have taken that last time
with 105. Those we were still on defense, right?
I guess we would have had a little bit more time at the end there. I'm not really exactly sure.
I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. I get it. Like, clock management is obviously an issue. Hey, Glenn.
Yeah.
They didn't have any snap issues. I only saw one that went down to the wire. Like, wire.
Good point. Okay.
Hey, clap it up. Clap it up. Good job, G-Row.
Hey, that's a good point.
No longer a high school offense.
They actually got the snap off. Yes, Donovan Carter says there's no point in being emotionally invested in this team this season. Their failure is pretty predictable. Nothing ever changes. Well, I mean, look, he's got a good point. How many 5 double-digit losses or 2-score losses in the fourth quarter?
Look, Glenn, let me tell you something. Donovan, I know you're in the depths of despair, okay? But when I meet I'm going to say man, but it could be man or woman. When I meet a man and we're getting to know each other, we're chatting it up. We're just talking, small talk, whatever. When I size a guy up and understand what he's about and what his values are, I ask him who his team is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he's like, I'm a whatever fan, but they lose a lot. They lose a lot. So I really root for the, back in the day, people were like, oh, I just root for the Patriots because they win all the time. Okay, dude, I officially lost all respect for you. Like, I know that's probably crazy, but you're a fair weather dude. So all I'm saying, Donovan, I'm not saying you're that, but hang in there, dude. You got to live and die. You
Look,
just
this
go to
could
the
just be
grave with it.
the defense here. I mean, everybody, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm done with this team. You know, that's just a defense mechanism to
I
protect
get it. I've
ourselves.
been there. I've been there.
Of course.
But you got to know. You got to stick in there. Don't change your colors.
No, he's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
He's not going nowhere. We stick around.
Look, at the end of the day, Donovan, Glenn, didn't you really know that the Ravens were going to make this as stressful as possible? Like every opportunity they have to make it more stressful for their fans, they're going to do it. Right?
That is them. That is them.
You know what I mean? That's why 2019 felt weird.
Yeah.
It was just odd.
It was the odd. Yeah, that's the one off year where we just blew every team out.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it didn't end up going our way, but yeah. Yeah, Sean, I hear you, man.
Yeah, sorry, y'all. Ravens losses hurt me to the soul. Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to be watching a ton of media coverage after this one. Like when the Ravens win, I watch Get Up. I consume as much as I can, but when we lose, it's just not as fun.
Usually I only watch so when we win, I'll watch more of the national stuff. When we lose, I only watch the post-game press conferences.
Now, do you think that the Ravens game in hindsight, do you think this game deserved to be flexed? Some people were frying this flexing on Twitter saying, why did I get to have to watch this offensive performance? But I thought the end of the game, unfortunately, the end of the game heroics, on their side, I think saved the entertainment value.
Right. And I'm assuming those people you're referencing are probably not Steelers or Ravens fans.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So they want pretty football, but this is football, dude. Like whatever you want, it's
competitive, right?
Yeah, it's competitive. It's always close.
Yeah.
It's always physical. That's football, man. Like we're not playing flag football.
What the Flock says, no momentum going forward. RB goes for 8 yards per and Tucker for a 60-yarder. Harbs need to start being more involved. Charlie active and no snaps. Yeah, I hate seeing guys active and don't play. Did
you see Ajabo at all?
He was inactive.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, then there you go. That answers my question. Because I kept looking for him.
Why not? Why not have him up? Because
they pulled up the practice squad.
What are you getting from your edge group right now?
Yeah, they pulled up. I don't even remember his name. Number 91. He was from the practice squad. I guess he was more of a run defender. I'm not 100% sure, but he's more of a run defender.
Ringo. Guy last name Ringo. But yeah, I mean the defense played well from a standpoint in that they only give up 16 points in the grand scheme of things. That's a good day. But I mean, they left a ton of plays out there. Ton of plays. Could have played a lot better. There's just no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, what the Flock wants to see more involvement from Harbaugh, I guess I don't know if this is like a play call.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I assumed immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian Wick says Panthers loaded the box. LJ and this O scored 13.
Yeah, he said this as soon as I talked about Lamar coming back, about 5-10 minutes back. So
yeah, it's not just. I guess it's not just as simple as him being the magic elixir to fix this offense. I just hope he will be. Maybe that's. I guess I'm just being optimistic, right? Fan, and that's all I can have. JL says Lamar Jackson made a promise when he was drafted. He's a man of his word. He has a lot at stake. I see a momentum like 2019 Seattle game happening, and Lamar leading this team on an improbable run.
JL is
let's
positive.
Go. Hey, I like it. I love it. Why not? Look, they've done it before. They came into the playoff run stumbling and bumbling before. Why not catch lightning in a bottle again?
And look, they showed the graphic up. Since Lamar Jackson's been a Raven with him, they scored 28 a game. Average since he's been a Raven without him, they score 18. So, look, if we can keep teams to 16 and we're scoring 28 on average,
I'll take it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, however it looks, whether he remedies all of our issues or not is one thing, but at the end of the day, points are points, and they're formulated in a multitude of ways. So, if he can simply equate to more points, then take it, right?
Let's hope he does. Tone says, neutral offense, it's starting to look like a one-and-done team. I hope I'm wrong. Does Greg Roman have tapes on Harbaugh in the front office? Look, I don't know what it would take. I don't even know if a Super Bowl win would save. It's just time to move on from Greg Roman and his offensive scheme. I would even be surprised if a Super Bowl run would save his job. And that's not to say that Greg wasn't great the time he was. Look, he had the single greatest Ravens offense in history, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
not even close. Now, of course, he'll tell you the players get a ton of that credit, and I agree. But you still got to look. Our best offense ever was like 7th until he got here, and immediately, boom, number 1, number 3. So give him credit, but yeah, he's certainly gone after this season.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, not too much to add there. Tariq Kakik says, keep on finding reasons for our losses, wide receiver, O-line, and so on, when the catalyst of all our problem is on Greg Roman. You found out about this last week. Yeah, I mean, look,
players still have to do their job.
Yeah.
You still can't let TJ Watt embarrass you.
Yeah.
And just blow up every play.
Man, you can't get a finger on homeboy.
I mean, the speed in which he got to Huntley on that sack. Yeah. Huntley had no chance.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. And then the run plays that he comes just destroying as he comes crashing down on the side. Hayward taking Ronnie Stanley and just throwing him like a baby into the lap. I mean, it just I get Greg Roman. Look, I just said it. He's gone. But these guys also deserve some of the blame.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just Quan says, no, Ajabo. If the Bengals win tomorrow and we have literally nothing to play for, why not let T. Martin call the last game? We just can't do nothing. I don't know if we do that. My thought would be the last game would be an opportunity to let's try a couple plays live that maybe we like that are in this vault.
No, you don't want to show anything that you might want to save.
But I don't know. I feel like it's with guys that aren't. I don't know. Try something. Do something that we haven't done.
It is got to be like, what will they do in that last game? And it's absolutely meaningless. They don't want to show anything. They don't want to play any good players. What's that game? It's going to look like a preseason game.
Yeah. Can you just forfeit? Can we just say we forfeit? Can we just put up a white flag? Give them the win? Yeah. I mean, like.
Yeah. But yeah, again, Noah Jabo. I guess they're still, basically they're saying that Jabo's not outperforming JPP, Adafe Owe, Tyus Bowser. He's just not good enough to get any. And I guess we should, give Ajabo a bit of a pass here. He's coming off a pretty gruesome injury.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, so these guys were hot and in a groove, I mean, at the time. So I don't know how much.
But man, they need to do something, Jimbo. Mm-hmm. What happened to Justin Houston?
Yeah. Yeah, and him and JPP had missed opportunities tonight.
Oh man,
some pretty rough ones.
JPP, the touchdown.
How did he get outside? If he had 10 fingers, he would have held on to him.
He might have. It might have been a play.
Straight up, dude. Like I know that's kind of comical, but right there, he was like, stupid fireworks, dude. I swear.
Ian says Bengals win the next 2. They're the number 1 seed. Are they? I think the Chiefs would.
Because I guess they would beat. Yeah, the Chiefs can only be a number 1 or number 2. I didn't know they could be jumped by the Bengals, but
unless the Chiefs lose out, but they won today and they're going to win.
Well, the lowest they can be is a 2. So
Did they win today? Am I lost?
No, they won by 3. So there could be a scenario where Cincy, because if they beat the Bills, they could own some sort of a tiebreaker.
Maybe if they have a better, but they don't have a very good division record, and they didn't have a head-to-head, did they?
Who you talking about the Bills and the Bengals play this coming week?
I'm talking about the Chiefs and the Bengals. They wouldn't have a head-to-head advantage.
They did play this year, didn't they? The Bengals won.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But the Chiefs would still have to lose. Right?
Yeah.
Chiefs have a better record. So, yeah. Chiefs ain't gonna. Yeah. They're I mean, I guess they could the final week, but that's a big loss to lose the number 1 seed and get a bye. So I think they're going to play to win that game. KP says Ravens play either the Bills, Bengals, or Chiefs. GG. Well,
GG. Am I missing something?
Good game. Usually it's a good game.
All right.
But man, that's a tough one, man. Woo! And look, your prize for beating one of them is probably going to be playing one of the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be. Hey, last time they won it, Jimbo, they beat Peyton Manning They beat Andy Luck. They beat Tom Brady before going to the Super Bowl. So if they can do that, they can beat Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes and back-to-back.
No, you're
weeks,
absolutely right. I mean, I think that there's still, if Lamar can be 100% healthy and they can, one thing I'll say, and I'm positive tonight, how many penalties did we have, Glenn? Not many, right?
No.
And certainly they had more penalties than us. I think we only had 2 or 3.
Let's see. Penalties was
4.
1 each.
No, not in total.
Oh no, 6. Sorry, I saw red zone trips. 6 for the Steelers, 4 for the Ravens.
Yeah, relatively disciplined from a penalty standpoint. I mean, Brandon Stevens didn't get a single flag. That's
and I thought Brandon Stevens
got picked on. He fought, dude. He fought.
He battled. He gave up some plays like we said he would, no doubt. But he also made some plays as well. And so I give him certainly some credit because they were giving him a ton of target. I don't remember Marlon Humphrey being targeted. Like,
right.
He just wasn't even, they were just staying clearly away from him. Josh says, you two, let's get it straight now. Is it okay for them not to sign Lamar Jackson? As close to yes or no as possible, please. Which side are you on? Is it okay for them not to sign Lamar Jackson?
Josh, I'm going to be on the fence because I need clarification here. Like, not sign him and franchise tag him? Are you talking about?
Let's assume that he's saying, are you okay with letting Lamar walk? Eventually.
For nothing? No.
There's no chance they would let him go now unless they were to get a haul. But I don't even think that's the case. I think they would just franchise him if nothing else, right?
Yeah.
But are you okay with them, in theory, never signing a long-term deal?
I would be okay with it if the Ravens got the biggest haul in NFL history. Anything less than that, I would not be okay with.
And the knowledge of that's maybe leaked that Lamar Jackson wants and refuses anything less than a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So those two things would have to happen. That's a good point because if he'll take less than a guaranteed contract, then the Ravens need to pony up.
If he's fine with getting above everyone else except for Deshaun Watson, do you think the Ravens sign him?
Yes.
Okay. If he's fine with being okay. All right. I was just curious. By the way, Deshaun Watson had some blunders out there today. Threw the ball to his tackle today.
There you go.
That's not an eligible receiver. Caleb says we can blame coaches, but players need to execute.
Yeah, you mentioned this, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean the offensive line got absolutely embarrassed. Jimmy went on a pretty spirited rant about the wide receiver core and their inability to gain separation or really attack the football when it's
want the football.
Yeah, just so yeah. I mean, I 100% agree with you. I think the linebackers played poorly today. They were absolutely lost. I thought the outside linebacker group was poor. The secondary played well. I thought the interior guys, if you include Brent Urban in that, I thought they played well. Broderick Metabike had a sack. Thought they played well, but the linebackers, edge and interior, to me, played poorly. That was the difference in defense.
Well, you know what? It's funny. The wide receivers, what they do is they just grab an empty box and they walk around, the warehouse as if they're doing something. They just have an empty box the whole time to look busy.
Oh yeah, I know that. Or not just looking pissed, shaking your head, walking by like fast.
The box is, or like it's a heavy.
Going? He's not going nowhere.
Yeah, it's literally doing nothing.
Yep.
Or
when they get to work acting angry that there was bad traffic, like you wanted to be here sooner.
Right. It's like,
don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
Yeah.
I know your tricks. Joe says I'm an Ohio State fan too. Not a fun. Oh.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal, dude. What a couple of great games. I mean, wow. And then he kicks the ball. Literally, Jimbo, as the stroke of midnight is when he's kicking that ball to lose the game. I mean, literally as the ball is dropping. That was absolutely incredible. He shanks it. But I just couldn't believe the timing. It was as the clock was turning as he's missing that field goal. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a tough one. Ohio State lost and this one.
Let's see. CJ Lavender, I think he's about to state my point that I've been beating the drum on. People forget Lamar, J.K., Gus, and Stanley have never played together?
Yeah.
Never?
Well, this year, of course.
Stanley only played 6 games in 20. Ingram was the starter. them four on the field together healthy completely changes the offense.
Oh, I guess in 2019 he's right because
Yeah.
they didn't have
Right.
Yeah, because in 2019 there was Ingram and JK.
Look, dude, I want to say two things.
Ingram and Gus.
And somebody before this, I think it was JL, was feeling real positive, and to CJ Lavender's point as well, feeling positive. I'm thinking about getting a shirt, Glenn, because I'm tired of the we're one and done. We're one and done. I'm tired of it. Tired of the bad juju. I'm getting a shirt that says not one and done. And when
you can only wear it after we win.
Hey, that's right. And when we win, I'm gonna don it on everyone, dude. Just not one and done, because I don't see it. I don't see a scenario where we're one and done. I don't care who we go up against.
You
because
don't
even
see
if it's,
I can certainly see it.
But all I'm saying is that if it's Cincinnati, it'll be the third
Bring it
time
on.
we're playing them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll be the third time we're playing them. And if
we beat them in the only meaningful one.
Right. And if it's Jacksonville, bring it. Same thing. I mean, bring it, dude. Because we lost at a nail biter, right?
Yep, I'd love to. Plus, I'd love to play in that weather.
Yeah.
Seems like I think we'd be better
Lamar
off
likes
playing in
it
that
too.
warmth. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Damon says, answer this question.
Oh, geez.
Are you both surprised? Think about it. Over the years under Harbaugh, we do not have a killer instinct. His Super Bowl was because of Ray and Ed.
No, it wasn't.
I think the offense
this
played a bigger role. Yeah, the offense played a bigger role. Defense was just okay that year.
Yeah, we were slightly below average from a defensive perspective, and especially the second half of the season.
Certainly the offense was bigger and more, a bigger part of why we won that Super Bowl than
creating the killer instinct, sure,
and motivation.
Yeah,
Ray certainly brought that,
but they don't play offense.
But Damon, at the same point in 2019, yeah, they lost in the playoffs, but they had the killer instinct that year. I mean, man, they got up on teams, then they just got up higher, and then got up higher and just put their foot on their throat and gave them absolutely no hope, and had them almost embarrassed in their post-game press conferences. But yeah, this year, top 5 multi-score leads. What can I say? You're right. You're right, Damon. It's been bad.
Lack of focus and killer instinct is fair. Like whatever it is, it
definitely defensively lack of and offensively, I guess. Yeah, let's go end this ball game.
Right.
Can't do it.
Yeah, imagine what Ray's saying in that goal line stop against the 49ers, right? Even a situation in the Super Bowl where the defense has not played particularly well throughout the year. I mean, and
in that
one
the second
stop,
half. Yeah.
One stop, right? Like that's so. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with him, but it is a misconception, right? That the defense brought them that Super Bowl. It's just not the case.
No. I'd say Anquan Bolden. I'd say,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Dennis Pitta, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
That 100%. Offense was Ray Rice. I mean, that offense was.
Well, and we shored up the offensive line. Wasn't that when Bryant McKinney started playing left tackle that the end of the year, he finally got out of John's doghouse and was just mauling people?
100%.
So, yeah, for sure.
But, hey, that was a tough loss. Brandon says we need to move on from Greg and John. Coaching stink.
Who knows? Might be time.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd be surprised if it was John. You make playoffs 10 out of 15 years, including this year. You go 3-2 with your backup. I think you're okay if you're John, but Greg, I think he's out of here.
Yeah, especially because the league just put out a memo reminding people how much money I think it was 800 or it was a ridiculous number of millions of dollars they spent on coaching contracts that had been fired, and then they had to pay out. So executive what? No game plan, no creativity. Or geez, whiz, it's late. Execute what? No game plan, no creativity, nothing. Yeah, I mean. John talked about the game plan wasn't good enough. Falls on him. You're the coach. Got to figure it out. And him being more involved offensively might be important. So I did see I have this weird talent. I'm able to read lips pretty well. I'll explain that story later, how I developed that talent. But I did see him say, "What are we doing here?" a couple times in the headset. So I think that's a problem when your head coach is saying, "What are we doing here?"
Marco, I appreciate you. I love having you in here. But
What happened?
I hate the theory. I hate when people say that Harbs pushed out all the alphas. I think that is just absolutely crazy. If you don't think Marcus Peters is an alpha,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's crazy. If you don't think Calais Campbell in a much different way is an alpha.
What about Lamar? I mean, Lamar's under contract, but
come on, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are alphas.
You don't think
that love
Roquan
John.
Smith?
Yeah.
On, man. You don't think that guy's an alpha? Like, come on, man. Whatever that means to you, I think, in my opinion, he is. But Damon says, I did not say it was only defense. My point is Harbaugh is not that dude. My point was specifically to say coaching is a problem.
Well, Ed and Ray don't call plays. Or offensively, they don't call plays. So,
yeah, well, I just think that you can certainly put some blame on the Harbaugh. There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt. But a guy who gets, has a Super Bowl, he's currently coaching a playoff team and has coached a playoff team in 10 of his 15 years. I look, I'd be surprised to see him gone. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
all right, let's get to this last one. And ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna call it a night after this. JL says, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs? Sheep. Bring them all on. Last time I remember we beat the Chiefs, beat the Bengals, and the Bills were gifted the game. Let's fucking go. Playoff football is around the corner. That's right, JL.
I like JL.
Did you like my did anyone catch my tribute to the wire? She.
I liked it. I like seeing some enthusiasm. Yeah, JL, I appreciate you bringing some positivity.
Yeah, 100%.
Anybody can win in the playoffs. You never know.
Yeah, I'm tired of we're one and done. We might as well not show up. Dude, the game's got to be played.
That's why they play them.
That's right. So I'm with you, JL. Dude, you know what, JL? If we win again, yeah, I might have to do something special for you, dude.
You loving the positivity. Jimmy's getting caught up in the positivity.
I am.
This was a game that, even though we lost, I still DK. Dang it, DK. Just saw your private
We'll talk
chat.
about it on Tuesday, DK. You're gonna have to wait. Okay.
4 for 4. Jesus. 4 for 4, man.
Okay, CJ Lavender says, I hate to say G-Ro is going to stay. No, he's
no
not.
way.
He is going. He is down as number one wide receiver, Lamar, for 5 weeks. No Gus, Stanley, or JK for a while. G-Ro will have plenty of excuses. I mean, those are fair, but nah. It ain't.
Those are good. Those are bad excuses, Jim.
You mean good? Like, these are good excuses.
I mean, if I was G-Ro, I would be saying exactly what CJ's saying. Look, you gave me a receiving core and you take away Bateman. What do I got left? Then you take away Devin Duvernay. What do I got left? You take away my starter for 5 weeks. You're a playoff team. You got 10 wins in a competitive AFC, and all 5 of your losses. All 5 of our losses, I had a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter. Your defense gave away. That's what I'd be saying if I was Greg Roman.
Yeah. Well,
but he's still gone.
He's still gone. Yeah.
Still gone.
That's all. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I want to keep going, but it is past the witching hour.
Yeah, it's about that time. But
we'll be back on Tuesday. Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, please, if you need to vent, do so in the comments. Get it out. It'll help.
And we'll break down the playoff scenarios coming up this week. We'll break down updates on the Ravens' health. Obviously, game plan for the Bengals. We got a lot to talk about this week. Any other stories that show up. But we appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We had almost 500 people at one point. We had consistently over 300. We are so grateful for you guys coming out at this late hour. And appreciate all the super chats. Damon, appreciate it. All you guys that came out. It's just Quan, JC Lavender, JL, Shooters Media, Gilbert Melton, and Shooters Media. That's Mike. Yeah, that's Mike, right? Go Man, Marco G, all the folks that didn't comment. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Have a happy new year.
Yeah.
To all of you. And
we'll be back. Ravens ain't done yet. This season ain't over.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys soon.